the second time the year. The Syracuse Hall of Famer, Vera Jones. I'm Lisa Byington, and Vera, with our starting lineups, no change for these teams from the last few games, but you have your eye on a few talented freshmen today.
Actually, it's the sophomore sensations I'm looking at.
Oh, you
Guard
changed it.
play, yeah, from Michigan State. Got to keep your eye on Nia Cloud, and she's been there, do everything. 14 points, 3.5 boards. And then for Michigan, it's all about the post power. And Naz Hillman at 16 points, 8.5 rebounds. She's a beast on the inside.
You changed it on me. You pulled an audible. I like it. Let's tip. That's why we rehearse.
That's exactly why we rehearse. I even
Dave, thank you very much. The State of Michigan rivalry takes center stage from East Lansing, Michigan, packed with pink at the Breslin Center, and the intensity of state pride on the line here tonight. The second meeting of the year between the Wolverines and the Spartans. The Syracuse Hall of Famer Vera Jones with you, along with Lisa Byington. No change to the starting lineups for either of these teams when you go back to the last few games, but you have your eye on some talented sophomores
Yeah,
tonight.
some sophomore sensations indeed. Nia Clouden for Michigan State. You got to check out that guard play. She is definitely the one keeping them in it at 14 points, 3.5 assists. But for Michigan, it's all about post power. Naz Hillman is a beast on the inside. 16 points, 8.5 rebounds. We'll be watching her closely as well.
Certainly has played her way into one of the Player of the Year candidates. We'll get into that a little bit later here in the game, but doesn't get much better than this, especially if you live in this state. The 93rd all-time meeting between these two programs. And all the cliches fall into line, doesn't matter what the records are. The pride of the rivalry, just a little bit more juice in the building, a little bit more juice at these shoot-arounds here this morning.
Oh, yeah.
And they have packed this building nicely.
Michigan State definitely looking for a little rivalry revenge after that 20-point pounding the first time they met.
Happened on January 5th, then we tip off here at the end of February. Michigan in the maize jerseys and Michigan State with those white jerseys and the pink trim. This is their pink game here tonight. Dilk, one of those sophomores, as you had mentioned, takes the first shot. And Tori Osment getting another start, her 4th straight here for Michigan State.
Yet another sophomore. When you think about the youth on both of these teams and just how much they've had to step up, there's been some injuries and illnesses and things like that. And so you got to grow up fast, especially at this time of the year in the Big Ten.
Oh, well, Haley Brown picks up a quick foul right away, kind of bumping there, Nia Clouden. Kim Barnes-Arico has to kind of reshape this program. Mentioned that the first meeting came on January 5th. That's when she had one of her best players in the lineup in Kayla Robbins, now out for the season, tore her ACL. And since that point, really in the last month or so, Michigan has tried to kind of reestablish who they are.
It definitely takes some time when you have some senior leadership like that and to have that kind of thing happen.
Clouden with the step back. So a couple of possessions, no points yet so far between the two teams.
Some basic player-to-player defense, but just how tight they play is going to be very, very important, especially on Naz Hillman. A lot of work to be done down on the block against Michigan.
Brown puts up that quick foul, stays in the game, finds Naz Hillman, but she stepped on the baseline. It's a turnover for Michigan.
So Kayla Bellis, one of the things that's probably her only job tonight is just make sure Naz Hillman does nothing with the basketball. And believe me, that is a very tall order.
Susie Merchant in her 13th season has faced her own kind of challenges with this program and injuries here this year. In and out with 3 players who have spent some time starting this season. One of those players, though, Shea Colley, has been warming up here today. It's a question mark whether we might see her for Michigan State for the first time in more than a month.
Yeah, we've been peeking over at that bench looking to see whether or not she's going to get in this game. That will be a story in and of itself. She's been AWOL for quite a bit.
Back-to-back turnovers now for Michigan, though. It's so interesting with these two programs as they meet here at the end of February. I mentioned they're kind of restructuring and redefining who they are because of some key injuries during the year. They're both trying to build momentum. We have a couple games away here until we reach the Big Ten tournament, but that's no way to build momentum. Another turnover.
No, Tori Osment just assuming Kayla Bellis was a little taller than she actually is. I know they say throw it away from the defense, but not quite like that.
Ideally, you want to find a player with the pass, and ideally your teammate.
Oh, yeah.
Still kicking it outside here to Haley Brown, who's got a good look at it. Not that time. Rebound to Bellis. We're still trying to hunt down our first points of this game.
I like Haley Brown's size on the perimeter and the fact that she's knocked down 45 threes this year. definitely a huge help for her team. Help spread that offense a little bit, give Naz Hillman some room inside.
Clouden again, they're playing her tight and tough. Here's Bellis with a try, too strong. Still no points.
Just when the weather warmed up outside, look what we're dealing with in here.
Bellis with the hack there on Hillman. Mentioned the injuries that both of these programs have had to deal with. If you followed their stories, Kayla Robbins out with the ACL. Danielle Roush had hurt herself, broke her hand in practice. We mentioned Shay Colley out with some knee injuries, also trying to play with the Canadian national team, an Achilles and MCL injury. Those are season enders for Cook and Gaines respectively, but there's a look at Shay Colley. Dress, she participated in shoot-around, she participated in warm-up. She hasn't played since the Indiana game back on December 28th and been away from the team for more than a month.
December 28th, we're coming up on 2 months actually. It's a long time. Big shot from McCutcheon, nothing.
Ripped away from behind, Joyner out to McCutcheon. It's the first bucket of the game.
And the lid is off. Great steal. And that's exactly what Michigan State is going to have to do. They're going to have to get really, really aggressive defensively to try to put up some points against this Michigan team. Again, this is a team that took them by 20 points first meeting.
You mentioned that defense from Bellis, nice and tight there against Hillman.
Look at a little creeping from behind, getting a little sneaky there. That's an easy two for McCutcheon.
Taryn McCutcheon, a senior, and another walking violation. It's the 4th turnover here for Michigan. 4 turnovers, no baskets here to start.
Now Moira Joyner, they call her Mo, the one that just got that steal. You talk about having to step up. She, as a freshman, certainly has gotten into the lineup and has made a difference.
Turning the corner, it's Clouden, so a couple of layups and 4 points here to start for Michigan State.
Looking good. Points in the paint. You can't beat them, especially when they're coming off of transition looks.
Hillman will try to challenge Bellis once again. That time she gets the first bucket. It comes in 4+ minutes of time in this game.
Bellis will learn very quickly. It's all about stepping in front, squaring up as best as possible, not letting Naz Hillman have the angle.
She has been a double-double queen. Naz Hillman has this year. See her numbers for this season.
And that is just irresponsible. I mean, not only has she knocked down 45 threes this year, but you've got to get in front of Haley Brown, especially when she's trailing the play. She's got long arms, great size. You have to get in her face and not let her have a good look at that.
And that three-point make was her 100th career three-pointer for Haley Brown. McCutcheon, they're working it around. They find Clouden for three, and she answers. How about a 3 for a 3?
All right, great extra point, nice extra pass. Beautiful look from Clouden.
Pass a little bit too strong from the freshman, Maddie Nolan.
Maddie Nolan getting in that starting lineup.
Nia Clouden, can't leave her open. She'll get you like that. Women's basketball on BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today. Outside look here at the Breslin Center. Magic Johnson greeting the thousands of fans who have come in here to watch this rivalry. Michigan and Michigan State, a one-point game here so far. Thank you for joining us. We're sporting our pink on this pink game here on this Sunday. Vera Jones and Lisa Byington with you. It's a slow start. Michigan State's kind of found its way a little bit. Yeah,
well, it's important that Nia Clouden got into the action last game against Michigan. She had a total of 8 points. She got into some early foul trouble, so she's already ahead of the game with 5 in the first quarter. Not a bad look.
That backcourt for Michigan State, yeah, all 7 points here to start, but another turnover out of that timeout for Michigan State. Down low there to Hillman for 2.
A little dip-de-doo, high-low action to Hillman. She's good on that. Hillman close to, at one point, was riding almost 60% on the inside. They key in on her a little bit. She sees some double teams, but she's tough. 56% field goal scorer.
And she's got 5 of the first 8 here for Michigan. Maddie Nolan, a tough rebound. They're going to call it jump ball, and it'll keep it to Michigan State. Going back to Hillman. You know she's going to get the ball, and somehow she still converts.
Well, she does a good job of just kind of finding her space. That was just a miscommunication defensively, and she'll make you pay.
One of the joys to watch here this year, I mentioned a double-double machine, 9 of them this year here for Michigan. Just a sophomore, as we had mentioned. And even in the absence of Kayla Robbins, Michigan thankful that they still have a core group that they can rely on, and Naz Hillman being one of them. Single digits on the shot clock. Clouden tries the mid-range. Hillman, they'll give up that shot to her. She's only attempted 1 3-point shot this year. Hasn't made one. Dill to Nolan.
Clock is on that trap. They probably should have just held on, but look who saves them. Boom.
With 1 on the shot clock. And leaving a roar to boot after that one down the court.
I love her emotion. And I think that she's so unassuming. If you just watch her, even off the ball, she's constantly moving her head left and right, trying to defend, thinking about basketball. How can I be better?
We've talked about slow starts. Michigan had one, but they've hit their last 4 shots, including this one. Take a look with 1 on the shot clock.
Again, she makes herself big. Notice how both hands, I mean, she's really big. She's asking for the basketball, and that's that emotion afterwards that fires up her team. And that's not anything for show. That's just how she really, really feels about it.
That tape there on her right shoulder. She had injured herself a couple of games ago in the Northwestern game, but our State Farm State of Success back on January 5th. The sophomore sensations putting up a couple of 20-pointers.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. No slump there when you've got 2 of your sophomores stepping up for over 20 points, several rebounds, and again, shooting that efficiently. Look at Dilk's 10 of 13. That's good stuff.
Some of the Michigan people have said Naz Hillman's kind of found her voice as a sophomore. Amy Dilk has made better distribution decisions as a point guard now as a sophomore. That extra year, a difference it can make. How about that runner? That's nice and smooth by a Kenray Johnson.
Foot on the pedal and just went for it.
One of the seniors, best friends and roommates with Kayla Robbins, playing inspired basketball in maybe her final year at Michigan. Potential maybe to petition for another year if they can after this year is done with Johnson. Verajao making it tough here defensively.
Yeah, Taryn McCutcheon got caught with the ball, a little indecisive. That's not typical. She's actually very, very good with the basketball.
Approaching all kinds of records here. Taryn McCutcheon, a senior, playing in her last perhaps meeting against Michigan of her career. And we got a blocking foul there on the freshman, Julia Arol, who was trying to draw the offensive foul, can't get it.
Julia Arol, as you say, another freshman that has had to step up for this Michigan State team. He's gotten a lot of playing time, a lot of experience, starting to be a lot more confident.
Just recently on this floor, you and I saw her just about a week ago put up a career high. She tied a career high with 14 points against Minnesota. Certainly was important here off the bench. Here's Winston, who is checked in off the bench. She turns it over.
Well, she was pushing. She was looking to make sure that there was some tempo. Look at that move.
McCutcheon will bring it up.
Winston again, that's a nice look, but Bellis could not finish on the interior, and that is so important. The fact that they're able to get inside penetration like that, you got to get those little bunnies to go in.
Redirecting traffic, it's Johnson out to Dill. Trying to get it back to Dilk here. Verajao with the post feed, and how about that move? A little turnaround for two.
I know it's an old name, but that was looking very Kareem Abdul-Jabbarish.
I'm with you.
On that sky hook.
All the millennials are Googling now.
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's K-A-R-E-E-M.
Sky hook action.
Take away from McCutcheon. Ooh, finger roll. She'll go to the free throw line. And how about this? Getting set to check in here for Michigan State is one Shea Colley as we look at the foul that's drawn there for McCutcheon.
Good job with McCutcheon using her body against a taller Amy Dilk. And this is like a sighting of sorts. I'm not even sure how we should be reacting right now.
Well, I mentioned that, you know, she hadn't played since December 28th. She's actually been away from the team for the last month, but you're right, 2 months since she's played. And it's just, I mean, she's a player who has led the team in conference play at 15 points per game last year.
Another opportunity. Shea Colley just touched the basketball for the very first time. And, you know, we're making a big deal out of it, but it's just one of those things when you haven't seen a player in almost 2 months. She returns to her basketball team, practices, I don't know, maybe a couple days. And now all of a sudden she's back out here. It's going to be very interesting to see what this chemistry looks like.
Well, I agree. I mean, a shot clock violation there for Michigan State, but this goes 2 ways. So we know she returned to the team last Monday, right before the Minnesota game.
Right.
We know that for sure. So now it's a chemistry issue. How does Michigan State adjust to it? And frankly, how does Michigan adjust to it? Not sure that they would scout a Shea Colley here tonight.
Right. That was definitely a take to the face. Possibly the nose.
If anyone's going to take it, Taryn McCutcheon can handle it. One of the toughest players in the conference.
Yeah. See, just going for the ball, she gets under. Oh. But right here, that was head to head to face anyway.
And so they're going to have to check her out.
Yeah.
Just with that contact to the head.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to leave, but they're going to walk her out right now and head back to the locker room. Taryn McCutcheon was kind of protesting that move, but just to be safe, of course, the athletic training staff has to do exactly that.
Sure.
You follow Taryn McCutcheon's story, you know she's been playing with a broken finger, an index finger on her shooting hand, a sprained foot at some point.
She is just about as gritty as they come. She spends most of her time on the floor. I mean, literally on the floor.
Brown with a three-point attempt. A short. And a slow start here for Michigan, but a decent finish to the quarter to take a 14-9 advantage. Rivalry City here in East Lansing between the Wolverines and the Spartans. Tuesday on BTN, the title chase hits the home stretch with a doubleheader of action. First, Lindsey Pulliam leads Northwestern against Ohio State. And Stephanie Jones and 7th-ranked Maryland host Purdue. It's all Tuesday on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Vera will be at one place, I'll be at the other place.
Yeah.
On Tuesday. We will separate at one point, but we're here together tonight in East Lansing.
Let's cherish it. I'm loving that jacket. I just wanted to get that out real quick.
I support you on that. It's the Pink Day, of course,
Beautiful.
sponsored by Sparrow Hospital here in East Lansing. Of course, to honor all cancer survivors and bring awareness to the fight against breast cancer. A couple of players on the Michigan State side, Victoria Gaines and Moira Joyner, lost their grandmothers after a fight against breast cancer.
On the other side of that, Michigan's head coach, Kim Barnes, Arico's stepmom, Donna, is a breast cancer survivor. So touches some of everybody.
Yeah, and it's always neat to see not only teams around the Big Ten, but women's basketball games across the country in the month of February. Have respect for Pink Games. How about that? The no-look, Clouden and Joyner with the finish.
I was just about to talk about Michigan State's got to figure out a way to put points on the board quickly, but almost right back at you with that. But that's where they're going to have to get it. This is the kind of basketball game Michigan State has to play. Getting a team back on their heels. Look at that bullet pass, bullseye, beautiful. Great read.
Zipped it in for two. They needed that badly. They were on a 5-minute scoring drought before that layup.
Joyner completing that one, and they need to look for that a little more often. But just as we say that, the points in the paint rack back up for Michigan.
Well, they had 54 points in the paint in that first meeting, and that was the first thing out of Susie Merchant's mouth about something they got to limit. Offensive foul call there on Joyner as Joyner and Johnson went at it.
I'm gonna need to look at that. Let's see here. She comes off the screen. I'm not sure. I might need some help with that one.
You're the expert.
Yeah, I know. And
I'm just your sidekick.
Yeah, experts get miffed too, especially on that. She's in motion. Oh yeah, if they called it on the screen, it's fine. But if they called it on her, I didn't get it.
That was the offensive foul there on Bellis. I had said on Joyner, so it's the second there on Bellis. So let's go back and look at it.
Okay.
I threw you off on
Okay,
that.
so you screwed me up. I was like, there's no way that this could be on Joyner. So Bellis with the screen, I get it. Now I feel better.
Never listen to me. Don't you know that by now, of how many years that we've been working together?
I was like, wait, I'm so confused. Then you threw me under the bus. You're the expert. I'm like, what I'm trying to say?
I totally did. I'm such a bad teammate.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that was a little travel.
That's a walking violation, I'm sure of that. That time on Tyre Parks.
Now, Tyre Parks has good size and definitely has some upside to her. She often gets called for traveling violation. She just has to get more work in terms of that footwork.
Hillman was looking for the slip that time. They find her with the post up. Parks defending. Hillman, tough to stop on that shot.
Man, Hillman is just so committed, and she's going to come through. She is a big-time scorer, no questions asked.
Mentioned that tape on her shoulder. Didn't play healthy really in the Northwestern game and the Rutgers game. She's looking to kind of get back to Naz Hillman health the last couple. Looks pretty healthy here to start tonight.
I was about to say, well, if this is the unhealthy version, she's doing just fine.
9 points here to lead all scorers so far. Michigan will keep it. Much to the displeasure of the thousands that have turned out here at the Breslin Center tonight. This rivalry is so fun. It always draws so well. That January 5th game, Michigan drew over 11,608 fans at Chrysler Center. Brown with another three.
Yeah, that's tough. Total miscommunication for Michigan State on the inside. Two people locked down on Naz Hillman, and that's exactly what Hillman brings. All that attention, then you leave a wide open three-point shooter out on the perimeter. That just can't happen. Haley Brown can knock him down.
She's got both three-point makes here from Michigan to start on a 7-0 run. Here's Parks trying to draw the foul there on Brown, and she does. That's number 2 on Haley Brown.
So good job for Parks kind of sealing Brown down low. Every time they say Vera Jow, I think they're saying Vera Jones, so I keep looking over at the announcer.
You got eligibility left?
No, I wish I did, right?
14 teams, 1 home coverage of the 2020 Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournaments coming up from Indy, presented by SoFi, begins March 4th right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app, and Vera Jones will not be playing, but will be broadcasting in that tournament. McCutcheon has checked back in. You kind of knew if there was any sort of chance that she was given a go-K, we'd see her back here in the first half.
Tough as nails, maybe tougher.
She got knocked, though, in the face.
Already has a shiner for
it. You can see it from here, only just a few minutes after that collision. Here's Hillman again. He's looking for the cross-court pass to Seidel. Nolan. 2 on the shot clock. Does Dilk know it? She does. She fires. Can't hit.
Michigan State clouded. There's no help defensively. She doesn't need it.
Oh, hanging, hooping. Her name is Nia Clouded.
And I was just about to say there's no help. This is 1 against 4. 1 against 4, and she makes it happen. Nia Clouden, that is just how good she is. Oh my goodness, the take. Had a whole bunch of yellow shirts looking like, how did that happen?
You've discussed just her speed and change of direction.
Yeah, it's her change of pace. She's almost second to none there. I mean, she can freeze you with that crossover, and then that first step is so quick afterwards. That's how she's able to get around a lot of players. Very tough to defend.
Well, lately she has been known as Clutch Clouden. Hit a couple of huge buckets in the last game against Purdue to give Michigan State a 2-point advantage.
I like that, Clutch Clouden indeed. She's a big scorer, and every team needs that kind of go-to. Michigan State is very blessed to have her.
You go back to that, the last game, February 20th on Thursday. Clouden needed this one to tie things up.
The crossover, though. The crossover, she'll do it again. And this time against one of the reigning Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year from Purdue, Ariana Harris. So she gets that big game winner. That's the kind of skills she has. Speaking of skills, can't beat Hillman on the inside. She's like, enough talk about Clouden. I'm doing some stuff too.
She's got double figures now. 11 points for Naz Hillman. Here's Clouden splitting the difference, so that defense couldn't finish though. Michigan on the push, got a little bit of pace going. Verajao with a second opportunity and one.
And again, Tyre Parks gets caught off of the rebound. You got to get in there. Off of the miss, there's got to be a box out. Verajao, good job just kind of flying down the lane and establishing position. Here it's just Parks not being wise.
Isabel Verajao added some height off the bench. She stands at 6'4". One of the players this year from Michigan that have gotten their first starts of their careers this year as Michigan State tosses it away.
Looking for Cindy Dodd, 6'5" freshman center. Still developing in a lot of ways. Clouden tried to give her a little touch.
Michigan State has played 11 players in this first half. so far to Michigan's 7. Trying to find some rotation. Here's Nolan for 3. Jerseyy, another offensive rebound, goes right at top. A third opportunity for the Wolverines.
Too many offensive opportunities. Michigan State, they know that rebounding was one of the keys to this basketball game, and they have not done it.
And they got the easy layup there for Jerseyy.
Outsized, down low, Jerseyy making it happen. You see Cindy Dodd at 6'5" is in there, trying to get some balance defensively.
Michigan State getting it over to McCutcheon for 3. She checks in to hit the 3.
That is money, honey.
Hillman responds.
You can't stop Naz Hillman going to the basket, especially when you're coming down off of a break. That secondary look to her at the block, wow, tough to stop. It's all about Naz Hillman. She is loaded with offensive prowess, and a huge reason Michigan's on top.
We're seeing one of the Big Ten's best in Naz Hillman on the court here tonight. One of 5 of your favorite candidates for Player of the Year.
Oh yeah, these are the big candidates right here as far as I'm concerned. And you can see they pretty much line up as the top scorers. Of course, Kamaria McDaniel from Penn State, the leading scorer in the conference. But just about every last one of these is not just a scorer, but contributes in other ways, shows up in several statistical stat categories. Naz Hillman, the only post in that group, so she's got to represent for the bigs.
Of course, Kathleen Doyle, Lindsay Pulliam, Kyla Charles on 3 of the best teams in the conference here this year. But you watched Arilla Garante's performance, a career-high 36 against Ohio State yesterday.
She was nothing short of amazing. Even if she was teeter-tottering on people's radar for Player of the Year after that performance yesterday, at least for me, I'm like, okay, legitimate.
Out of the timeout, how about from the other side? Won't go there for McCutcheon. There's a foul there on the floor. On the loose ball, and that'll be another foul on Jerseyy. That's her 3rd.
Well, she just kind of, that push in the back was just enough. You can't do that.
Only played 7 minutes here so far. Picked up 3 personals, so she'll head to the bench.
Michigan State's got to really take their time to make every basket count here. It's all about execution. There's a lot of one-on-one right now, so they definitely need to figure out how they can get quality shots up.
Well, they're finding quality shots and holding Michigan State so far to just 9 points in the first quarter and so far in the second quarter. Clouden feeding Dodd, and she gets the body bucket and one.
Good for Cindy Dodd. This is a player that only averages a point and a half a game. She had a career-high 7 rebounds versus Maryland, but she's getting in there, and good feed on the inside. You've got to get everybody going, and that's what good players do. So credit Nia Clouden again with just trying to get that inside game established through Dodd.
And again, Michigan State just running bodies and players in and out of this game. Mentioned that they have 11 players who have played here so far.
And that's good defense. You got to stay squared up. Good job from Osmet. Good job defensively.
Crowd appreciating that effort, and a foul committed at that time on Dodd. That's her second. And the team's 5th, so Michigan will be shooting free throws.
But you got to get aggressive with it. You see how she squared off that corner, never gave Naz Hillman an opportunity to turn the corner right at the elbows. That's critical defense right there. If you're going to put on the pressure, put it on before there's a chance to curl down that lane line.
Kaiser to the free throw line. Emily Kaiser, a sophomore, getting some playing time, checking in after Verajao had picked up her 3rd. Makes good on the second. Osment trying to take a baseline. And Joyner into the lane for 2.
I like how Joyner's not shy about getting into the paint and creating. Oh, that's too easy.
Oh, a hard foul there on Hillman, too. But look how quickly Michigan was getting it out of the net and getting it down the court after that made bucket.
That's the strategy. Most teams aren't ready. You're too busy looking at the basket, celebrating the basket, checking with the coach, looking at the fans. You got to get down the court. Michigan will try to drive it as fast as possible right at you.
Hillman can't convert on the first. If you haven't had enough of Vera and I tonight, you can get more of us later this week, breaking down everything on the Big Ten Women's Sports Report. Tomorrow at 6 Eastern.
Looking forward to it, Lisa.
Nice to have you back in the cozy studios in Chicago. Maybe you can buy me lunch or something.
I can hold my breath on that one.
Was that a yes? I heard a yes.
Of course.
Under 3 minutes to play here before the half.
Good move. Oh, but you ran into Naz Hillman.
Yeah, Hillman got the block and a foul there committed on the loose ball as well. There on Nia Holly.
And so when you start talking about all of the things that Naz Hillman does well, again, look at that. Help side defense. She recovers quick. I tell you, she's constantly got her head on a swivel. She's constantly checking across the court. I like the mechanics of how she plays this game.
Sends Amy Dilk to the free throw line. That's where it hasn't necessarily been Michigan's friend. There's 4 of them here so far. 10th free throw attempt coming up.
So Michigan State has dug themselves a hole. So it's all about finding as much tempo and rhythm as they can here. Good job from Michigan, just locking up the paint.
Stepping in the passing lane, Maddie Nolan gets the bucket and the foul.
Michigan's fired up now. They've got Michigan State exactly where they want them. They are running, they are defending, they are running, they're completing baskets. Nolan's getting into the action with an and one.
Maddie Nolan trying to make most out of her playing time. The absence of the 2 players we talked about, Kayla Robbins and, of course, Danielle Roush getting more playing time now for Michigan. Not only more playing time, but she's starting now for the Wolverines.
Tori Osment way off on that 3-pointer, and that was too wide open. This is a difficult matchup. Got a Kenra Johnson and Nia Clouden. Nia Clouden definitely undersized right here.
Johnson crosses her over and takes her all the way. That one rimmed out. And with 3 on the shot clock, we'll reset it to 20. Michigan will get it from the sideline.
This, again, nice crossover. Johnson's got significant size there, so that was the right move to the basket, but you get a look at the hustle of both teams to the corner.
Tilt going back door. What a look for the Wolverines.
Great move to the basket. Michigan continues to just put points up in the paint.
McCutcheon.
Oh, look at that pass.
Swinging it out to Joyner. Sometimes she's got eyes in the back of her head. Dilk on the push. Here comes that transition for Michigan. Helen with the finish.
Do you see how quickly, I mean, if anybody's scouting this game, that would have to be the number one thing they pay attention to, is just how quickly they get that ball down the floor. Very few post players run the floor like Naz Hillman to the rim.
Johnson committing the foul there on the bump. But an impressive first half for Naz Hillman. Look how fast she gets up and down the floor. Look at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, she's just gone. And the thing is, I guess the problem I have sometimes is when you know. I could see if she'd never done it before. But she does it over and over again. So your thought process has to be, where is she as soon as the ball changes possession?
Michigan, an impressive second quarter. 26 points here in the second quarter, and an impressive first half defensively. Michigan State only 23 points.
Good denial defense. That's great denial defense. Osmet, I thought, was doing a great job.
A 5-second violation.
I mean, Osmet is really working hard on defense. Great job. Let's see if she gets rewarded with the bucket on the other end. That's what you're supposed to do.
Scoring in basketball always helps.
Yeah.
Michigan 24 points in the paint. More than half of their total coming down there. Final few seconds, shot clock still in play.
1-on-1. Again, the way they squared up and don't let. Oh, good move, good move.
Holly gets the bucket. See if Michigan can get one more shot off. Wolverines can't. 26 points in the second quarter. 17 in the first half from Naz Hillman. Impressive by the road team. The short drive from Ann Arbor to East Lansing. And the Wolverines with a 40-25 advantage will take it to Chicago right after this quick timeout.
Are you ready to go? I fight for.
Tonight on BTN, one of wrestling's greatest rivalries takes center stage when top-ranked Iowa squares off against Oklahoma State. Big Ten Wrestling presented by Cliff Keen Athletic. That's tonight at 8 Eastern on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Exciting times in that sport this year. The promo's even exciting to watch. Second half here to come. What are you looking from each of these teams here in the first few minutes?
Well, like I said, one of the first things that Michigan State is going to have to do is help establish somebody other than Clouden. They've got to figure out a way to get the ball on the inside, and then they've got to crash the board. Much better job of crashing the boards. Somehow, some way, they've got to be able to defend against Naz Hillman. As for Michigan, I'm not sure how much better you want them to play. They're shooting better than 50%. They're running. They're rebounding. They're doing everything well, so they just have to maintain.
I mentioned that Kim Barnes-Arico told us that shoot-around. She likes the direction that her team is going, sort of restructuring themselves after those key injuries. She said, we feel like we can compete against almost anyone in the conference right now.
And another look to the inside. They went to Bellis in the post, but again, the inability to finish on the inside is really, really hurting them.
Brown missing badly on that. She's hit a couple of threes in the first half. Her only points of the game, but only played 10 minutes, about half the time, with a couple of fouls in the first half.
It was a long halftime. Maybe just not warm back up yet.
Get warm again?
Yeah, got to warm back up.
Was that the case with you?
Yeah, every once in a while that really would happen. Yeah, you just go cold.
The sweet J for Vera.
That's it. That's it. That's about all I had. Don't give me a layup. Three-pointer, I'm good. Layup, not so much.
Johnson getting beat up by McCutcheon, taking it on the left side. Again, kind of a slow start here for Michigan. They had a slow start in the first quarter and then put the burners on the rest of the way. There's a response from Osman.
See, I like that strategy. I like the push, and if they have someone that can start knocking down trailer threes, that's huge. Tori Osman could be very useful here.
Her first points of the game and just the third three-point make for Michigan State. They average about 7 of them per game. Hillman misses her first attempt of the second half. On the push, McCutcheon finds some daylight there and knocks it down.
And again, out the gate, they've got a couple of other scorers who aren't named Clouden. That is a good sign for Michigan State. Oh, that's a travel.
Yeah, you got it. Dilt walked with it, shuffled her feet. A 5-0 surge here for Michigan State to start this half.
This is nice. Again, you just find a little room, just a little room. Taryn McCutcheon can make it happen on the dribble and pop.
Bellis draws the foul. That's going to be number 3 there on Haley Brown.
And Haley Brown is wondering, what about the hook? But that assertion, you have to continue to attack. That was one of the strategies. Go after the big. See if you can get some folks in foul trouble. Think about it. You start pulling Brown out of there. Who's coming in that rotation?
Kim Barnes-Arico talking to Tina Napier and trying to get that explanation. Brian Interline, Maggie Tiemann, your officials tonight. Bellis knocks down the second.
So how about Michigan State closing the gap? Always nice to get it under 10. It feels a little more comfortable there.
Double team coming for Hillman, and she draws the foul.
Michigan staying again with their bread and butter. Go to the block, get Hillman the basketball. Many, many touches. You see just how she moves well without the basketball. Bellis failed to keep her hands straight up.
And that's the third on Bellis, so she'll take a seat. Tyre Parks checks back in. Later tonight on BTN, Dave Revson, Mike DeCourcy, Stephen Bardo discuss the hottest topics in college hoops and examine the conference's place in the national picture. Big Ten Basketball and Beyond presented by Encova Insurance tonight at 10 Eastern on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Splitting the pair for Hillman. Only a 65% free throw shooter this year.
It's a tough pass. It's a very, very tough pass. When you throw a pass down low from the hip, it has a tendency to rise up higher than you want it to rise.
Osman gets blocked by Brown. And interesting with Kim Barnes-Arico keeping Haley Brown in this game right now with the 3 fouls.
Definitely is a moment of trust because it's so early. In the third quarter, you don't want to lose her too soon. So that's definitely a coach relying on, spoke too soon. It's like that was definitely very trusting. That we just talked it up.
Number 4. Still with 7 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's tough.
Pass goes over the hands of Joyner.
A lot of just bad passes. Passes out of control.
Michigan State thinks their teammates are all like 6'5" here. This side of the floor, clouded, out to Parks.
Oh boy.
Offensive foul call. And that's 3 on Parks.
So that's a good lookout. Boy, Amy Dilk definitely had position. Parks was just kind of going full steam ahead.
That front court now for Michigan State. 3 on Bellis, 3 on Parks. And more bodies getting tangled up. The foul that time on Osman. Johnson stepping on the baseline.
Yeah, good defense.
Second turnover this half for Michigan.
Good defense. Now Michigan State, key opportunity here. Again, you just want to chip away a basket at a time. You don't look at that 10-point deficit. You just execute on offense.
McCutcheon, couple of dribbles,
And one.
and one.
Oh my goodness, big shot. And if someone's going to make it happen, it was going to be Taryn McCutcheon. Look at that left eye already. Remember, she got hit earlier, but this is true grit. She returned to the basketball game, and now she's determined to score. Teammates love it.
Ooh, look at that
Oh,
left
that's a
eye.
shiner.
Had a collision in the first half. She got checked out and returned just a few minutes later.
And remember, this game has so much significance. It's a game of pride. I mean, this in-state rivalry has gone on for a long time. It's also breast cancer awareness game. And, there's so many different things riding on this. Michigan State trying to get back. They were able to have a 3-game winning streak, and now they're trying to get back in their winning ways and just stay there as they ride into the tournament.
And what I love, again, as I mentioned, one of the highest attended matchups for the past 5, over 11,000 fans, no matter if you're playing in Ann Arbor or East Lansing. A walking violation on Hillman. That's turnover number 3 of this half now. One thing I will say, with Michigan State, they play much better at home, as most teams do. But you see this crowd that's kind of filled in. If they need any sort of offensive push, chances are better that they can get it here at the Breslin Center than anywhere else. Here's McCutcheon looking to get a couple more.
Well, Michigan State's starting to feel the energy. Big, long shot, and then great job getting to the basket from Julia Aralt. Almost.
Verajao comes down with it. Remember, she's playing with 3 personals for Michigan.
Now that,
trying to push the issue.
I was going to say for sure, that is definitely a charge. Saw that one coming. Great job from Mo Joyner getting into position. And still outside, well outside of the restricted arc. So that's just good defense. A little shove-in, not happy.
The second on Dilt. And we got a foul away from the basketball. Seedorf.
There's a lot of whistling going on.
And these officials trying to tighten it up a little bit. Set the tone here in the third quarter. But already in the bonus midway through this quarter as Joyner steps to the free throw line.
She has really struggled from there, only 46% shooter.
You can say that for a lot of the Michigan State players, except for Nia Clouden. They are second to worst as a team in the conference this year from the free throw line.
No way to fix that except to get in the gym and just keep shooting them. Practice, practice, practice. Technique. Good steal.
Clouden with the takeaway, looking to go the distance. Nolan got her. She's got a couple coming up.
Well, this game certainly is physical. There's definitely been more whistles. Good steal. That's just a good read from Nia Clouden. She's determined to go straight up.
Michigan calling the timeout to chat about it. Spartans charging at the start of the third quarter. As we approach the Big Ten tournament, final few games of the regular season, what game intrigues you the most?
Well, I've got to keep my eye on that Northwestern Ohio State. Remember, Northwestern came out of nowhere, has an opportunity to actually at least share a piece of the title. And Ohio State has been playing the role of spoiler for a long time. It still has some big hopes for postseason as well.
Even though they dropped one to Rutgers, they're on a nice little run here down the stretch. And you see the battle, Northwestern and Maryland, as you had mentioned, tied for first place with a 14-2 overall record. Iowa is a cheerleader for anyone playing Northwestern or Maryland in the last couple of games.
That's right.
The Terps having a bye weekend. Saw a video where Brenda Fries told her team, I don't even want to see you tomorrow. Take the day off. Out of that break, Clouden, the third best free throw shooter in the Big Ten statistically, knocks down a couple. We got a ball game again.
Yeah, you look up and all of a sudden it's a two-possession basketball game.
Michigan had a lead as much as 18 points, but they have 4 turnovers in a scoring drought, and that will help things a little bit for the Wolverine cause, and one on the other end.
Well, when in doubt, give the ball to Naz Hillman. It's kind of in the rule book. She is just so fluid, and Michigan continues to give her the ball, especially in the tough spots. That is how they will stay ahead.
surprise all of them, but we are actually here to surprise you. We have voted as a board for you to become an honorary member of the Varsity S Club.
Looks good on you, Mom.
A slow-moving first quarter, really, for kind of both teams. 26 points that were put up in the second, and then a slow start for Michigan in this third.
Well, Michigan State came out the gate and definitely just started attacking the rim as best as possible. Michigan only finding a real option scoring-wise in Naz Hillman.
1 for 4 shooting here for Michigan to start this third quarter. Again, Hillman trying to complete the and one. Happened right before the timeout. Hillman now 20 points and 1 rebound off of her 10th double-double this year. And she's missed 4 free throws tonight. Clouden getting the stagger screen and running right into a Hillman wall.
Yeah, that's not comfortable. Down to 7 seconds on the shot clock. That high ball screen got nothing for Taryn McCutcheon.
McCutcheon, underhanded finish. She didn't hit the rim, hit the backboard. But the officials are going to discuss it. We have Brian Enterline saying a shot clock violation. Tana Napier on the other side, I think, was saying that it might have hit the rim. They had 2 different perspectives on this, so let's judge it.
Definitely see backboard. And just a smidgen of rim. Just a smidgen of rim on the front end.
Well, now they're going to bring in a third set of eyes and Maggie Tiemann to take a look at it. It seems pretty obvious from this angle, right?
Yeah, it looked a rim and a forehead. That's what it got.
Forehead we don't care about.
A-Roll cares about it.
They're going to keep it as a shot clock violation.
Okay.
The pink blinding both of us.
I guess.
Nolan getting tripped up.
Well, we expected this to be a contest. Michigan State, again, there's so much pride that goes into this basketball game, and even though Michigan State was really out of rhythm, just couldn't seem to get the shots to go. They did get a couple of looks at the basket on the interior, but they just weren't falling. And so now, tightening up the defense, always paying attention to where Naz Hillman is, and then, of course, Haley Brown being on the bench for Michigan has helped out the Michigan State efforts a little bit, I think.
Brown exited early, picked up 4th foul early in the third quarter. Only has played a few minutes in the second half. Clouden comes over to get it. Nia Clouden taking the baseline.
She was totally under the basket when she shot that. So again, good defense from Michigan and an overthrow from Amy Dilp.
They were looking, though, on the transition for 0-0. Naz Hillman again. Gets up and down that court so quickly.
Oh, my goodness.
6'2" frame.
Yeah, she's one of the best floor running posts in the country.
A-roll for 3. She had a couple of those against Minnesota. Not necessarily a lot of success this year. 24% for the season.
Well, we've seen quite a few in this one game, quite a few three-point air balls. Not really sure what's going on, and some overthrown passes as well.
Tough entry pass. Michigan turns it over.
And so Michigan State with an opportunity once again to kind of get a possession, run a set here, see if they can get something offensively.
That's the second foul on Hillman.
Great job right off the elbow. She took that lane line, full ownership. Some intense defense and man-to-man pressure right now from Michigan State.
Dilk on the take, gets fouled hard coming across the lane. It's Parks. That'll be number 4 on Parks.
See Shea Colley return to the basketball game. Colley and Holly. Parks coming out of there. The one thing she does bring is with that height and that size. So now this with Vera Zhao as well as Hillman in the game.
Parks will sit out.
Michigan State a little bit undersized.
I want to correct the stat line too. Hillman only with 1 personal foul, not 2.
Okay.
And both of these teams in the bonus here for the final 2:31. Here's Colley. Well off the mark.
Yeah, I think it's the first shot she's taken in a minute.
Again, hasn't played since December 28th. Verja with the kick out over to Seedor.
Seedor, quite the scorer in high school. Over 3,000 points.
Here's Osman.
Good move to the basket. Just again, that's another one of those opportunities. Just can't seem to get the little bunnies to fall.
If you're looking for points, the third quarter is not the place to find it.
Nope.
18 combined points between these two teams. 5 points for Michigan, 13 for Michigan State. But it's been just enough for Susie Merchant and the Spartans to inch closer.
Sure.
And narrow the gap right now. Again, a lead as many as 18 for Michigan in this game. That happened in the second quarter. If Michigan State had made all its free throws, they would actually have the lead in this game. But they're 9 of 17 right now tonight.
Those free throws will creep up and get you every time. Isolation action. Oh, that's beautiful.
Backdoor look. Shea Colley has her first points.
Well played.
Since
well played.
back in December 28th.
Oh, wow. Flagrant foul on Verajao.
And she was sitting on 3 personals before this play. We'll see how they sort it out. Yeah.
Well, anytime that elbow is raised, even though it did not actually, from our perspective, did not connect with her face, the fact that she threw an elbow, Osmet did a good job of forcing the landing.
Tana Napier, veteran official, trying to sort things out right now. Again, Verajao sitting with 3 personals here before the decision is made on this play.
So there it is again. Even though she just kind of, so that's going to be her 4th.
And Tana Napier is trying to get Susie Merchant's attention so she can talk to both head coaches at the same time. Here comes Coach Merchant. Okay, so
Sound all of that out.
yeah, Brian Enterline coming over to explaining to us. First, a personal foul committed on Tori Osment. And so Verajao will go to the free throw line to shoot those. And then after the play was blown dead, an intentional foul called on Isabel Verajao. With Verajao now shooting the free throws because of the Tori Osment personal foul.
Correct. Then
And so that's 2 on Tori Osment. And so now McCutcheon shooting the free throws for the intentional foul. By the way, Verajao, now I mentioned she has 3 fouls, so that gives her 4 with the intentional foul as she stays in this game here for Michigan. Foul trouble for Michigan.
that's pretty hefty for Michigan. And it could help Michigan State in the end. Michigan State would be wise to continue to attack those players that are in foul trouble.
They try to go right at Verajao. Howard kicks it out that time. Here's Osment with Verajao charging. Another opportunity for Michigan State. McCutcheon dropping
Oh my
it.
goodness, that's
Eyes in
beautiful.
the back of her head, finding Holly.
I'm loving the distribution. Beautiful from Taryn McCutcheon. And it has got this Breslin Center rocking. Holding to 1 shot, 9 on the clock.
Dill taking it inside, offensive foul call.
Tori Osment has been nothing but dramatic, intense, and in the right place at the right time. Great job stepping in, taking this. That's painful.
Michigan put up 40 points in the first half and has scored 5 in the third quarter. McCutcheon sizing it up.
Close enough.
Only 16 points scored here for Michigan State, but good enough here to cut the lead to 6. The ball game has returned here at the Breslin Center. A 4-point advantage here for Michigan. 4-point advantage here between Michigan and Michigan State. The final 10 minutes to play. The Spartans have made this really interesting. Our BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance, just sharing the basketball.
That was a beautiful look. I think that has been one of the elements that has really helped get them back in the game. I love that pass from Taryn McCutcheon. Up in the air, throws it back. Holly's the recipient.
6 buckets made, 4 of them assisted.
Haley Brown back into the basketball game. 4 fouls in the 4th.
Yeah, you mentioned you felt like just the energy changed.
Yeah.
She went out with 7 minutes, 15 seconds left in the 3rd quarter after picking up her 4th foul. Michigan only 7 points scored in that 3rd quarter. And a tough going here to start the 4th. Hesitation move for Johnson with the runner. Hillman pursuing. Holly got a piece. Let's see what they call. They got 2 shots coming.
I almost thought it was going to be a jump ball call. There's a look at the 3rd quarter points. Michigan State really racked them up. I thought they played really good team basketball, looked for each other, and took advantage of opportunities to not just dribble penetrate into the paint, but pass through the paint. Good stuff.
And they only got 5 shots off. Michigan did. 9 free throw attempts in that 3rd quarter. Not a whole lot of looks as Hillman converts on the 2nd. Michigan won the 1st meeting, looking for the season sweep of Michigan State for the first time in 5 years. Osment with a hard take. And the foul committed there on Naz Hillman.
Well, the energy from Tori Osment today has been a big deal. So that foul called, part of it is her crashing to the deck. She has definitely done that a few times today.
That's Hillman's 3rd, by the way. Osment converts.
And so we talked about this a little earlier, how attacking the paint was going to be important, especially if they can pull in the bigs on the attack. You see Haley Brown got into some foul trouble early. Naz Hillman, they certainly want to go after her as much as possible as well, now with 3 fouls.
5 players on the Michigan side with at least 3 or 4 fouls. 9 minutes to play in this one. Dilt turning the corner, pulls up.
Look at little McCutcheon snagging the rebound. Can they score in transition?
It's her first rebound of the game. McCutcheon will keep it herself.
The answer is yes.
Number.
The answer is a resounding yes.
Colley trying to D up Johnson. Second opportunity, foul committed.
So Holly has been in there trying to scrap and hustle for the rebound, but got called for a swipe on the arm. This is Colley trying to get the first swipe, and then Holly just kind of reaches in there. Definitely looked like she was going after the basketball, but was just enough to get a foul. Now she's got 3.
3 players on the Michigan State side with 3 or 4 fouls. Brown for 3. Hit one early in the 3rd quarter, has been sitting out since. Michigan will keep it off the Spartans last.
Well, notice when Brown, I mean, this is just a small thing to make reference to, but with Brown out of the game, when she's in there, she stretches the defense. You have to respect the fact that she's playing the 3, and that opened some things up on the inside for Naz Hillman. While she was on the bench, it was easy just to kind of sink back into the paint. Michigan was not as effective scoring.
Dill hunting something down. Kick out to Brown, she'll try it again. Again, missing poorly. Another one of those air balls.
Yep, a lot of air ball. This game has had more air ball 3s than I think I've seen all season.
Every shot Brown has attempted has been a 3 tonight. 2 for 7.
Oh, that was
Clouded,
easy.
left on the road. She left the whole Michigan defense behind her. Michigan State taking the lead for the first time.
Oh, we talked about Clouden in those clutch moments. You called it clutch Cloud, and I like it. I'm stealing it. That's another clutch moment. The first go-ahead for Michigan State.
Part of a 6-0 run.
Michigan State playing with a newfound energy here. Oh,
Rip away, here's Colley on the push. Can't convert, McCutcheon trying to keep it alive. Holly, no.
Michigan State, just again, we talked about their inability to finish on those little bunnies. Silly rabbit. Eventually they got to knock them in.
What kind of response can Michigan have now? The first time they've had to trail and come from behind in this game. Hillman calling for it. Spin move and one. Huge bucket for the Wolverines.
That's a big bucket, oh so needed for Michigan right now. They have been in bits of a drought, but when in doubt, it's all about Hillman. Great job sizing it up on the inside. She creates space on that turnaround. And even with a bad shoulder, she's killing them. 23 points.
Her 10th double-double this year. She makes good on the and one. Boy, did Michigan need that.
Now this is the rivalry ball game we were expected. I don't know what was happening those first 3 quarters.
Bellis, one dribble, turn around. Hillman with her 11th rebound tonight.
Bellis has yet to learn how to see the whole basket when she does that drop step to square. She's got to be able to square with the basket in mind.
Brown can't find any luck on the right side. Here's Johnson. Bellis got her.
Oh, that's tough.
That's 4 on Bellis.
That is tough. I thought that was a clean look. But again, maybe it was down low. We always have the benefit of the wonderful replay. That's all ball. I'm sorry. That's all ball. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And that's a critical call. I mean, this is critical because they need her size. That is completely all ball.
What about coming down on the end?
Even coming down to the end, she barely touched her. It was so incidental that it was insignificant. It didn't cause anything. The shot had already been taken.
Both teams have started the fourth, scoring 6 points each. Michigan taking the lead right back. Here's Clouden, thought about it. That crossover is killer. Out to Choina. Not shy as a freshman to take that shot. Dilt comes down with it.
So Michigan still not able to get anything in transition. But what they do want to do is size everything up. Let Hillman continue to get touches where she can. Again, she's pretty efficient on the inside.
Dilt shut down. Oh, they find Hillman.
Uh-oh.
Usually good for 2. Chases down her miss. Gets it right back.
Well, she's good at padding the stats, too. She might miss that first one, but she's going to get her own rebound. Might as well collect points and rebounds.
A 26-12 game for Naz Hillman. And Johnson has picked up her 4th.
And you knew they were going to go inside to her. And with Bellis with 4 fouls, it would be wise to continue to go after. There's mom, Shima. Quite a baller herself.
Yeah, played in the ABL and played at Vanderbilt. Grandma in the house as well. You see the 26-12 game. She had a monster game against Iowa. A 30-10 game, and tonight is rivalry night.
How good does that feel against your rival, in-state rival at that? Good move from Clouden, but she can't. Michigan back in control. Michigan State needs a stop.
Hillman has accounted for almost half of Michigan's points here tonight. Osment going behind the back. Hillman.
What a move. Tori Osment has still some things up her sleeve. She has been so effective offensively, defensively, taking charges, bringing the energy, defending in the paint.
Working it around. Hillman again, finding Dill. And draws a foul on Joyner.
Tori Osment certainly is one of those players that has helped keep things alive. The behind the back, the scoop, and the score. Michigan State still in this thing.
A close game here, rivalry game, and an interested Spartan fan. You're looking at Mo Gerhardt, who of course has been the analyst on the Spartan Sports Network. He battles muscular dystrophy and has spent as many as 5 months in the hospital due to some complications, stomach complications, respiratory complications. This is his first game back this year.
Just so emotional to see him, and what an emotional, passionate support that he has provided this Michigan State team.
Has been a part of the radio broadcast for a decade plus. His radio partner, Keaton Gilligley, going solo, and he's been going solo here for this season. But of course, you know, the players are close to Mo. Susie Merchant is close to Mo. Mo Gerhardt's dad actually coached Susie Merchant when she was a volleyball player in high school, and so they connected with that tie. But our best wishes to Mo, of course, and the fact that strong enough and he's recovered enough, again, with a 5+ month stay in the hospital over this past summer, and in an emotional time. Susie Merchant spent many a night at the hospital with him, and it was awesome to see Michigan State's reaction to seeing him before the game here today. He's on pins and needles as one of the biggest Spartan fans here in the building. Michigan trying to protect this 4-point advantage. Free throws have not been a friend either for one of these teams.
Well, Michigan State has closed up points in the paint, is now 30-26. At one point, they were down by almost 20 in terms of points in the paint, so big turnaround for them. There's the rest of the game summary. You see Naz Hillman. It's been almost a one-woman show on many levels with her 26 points and 12 rebounds. That's a big shot.
From the corner, Joyner can't get it, and a big rebound from Nolan. What can Maddie Nolan do for you? She can come up with some big rebounds down the stretch.
I'm surprised they didn't call that back foot.
Kept her pivot foot
boy,
there.
Pivot
and that's
foot.
the 4th on Holly. Yeah, but it was close.
Yeah, good thing she's got long toes. Because I swear that foot was dragging. You take a look. Here's the pivot foot. Oh, it skidded. Yeah, she got away with a little one.
They have missed 12 free throws in this game. 13 free throws. Brown.
That's it. She's
That's
gone.
it. Yep. Number 5.
Definitely pushed in the box. Definitely pushed her in the back.
And look at this reaction to her teammates. I love that.
Oh boy, yeah. No mistake. No mistake. I mean, it was an honest foul, but as far as honest fouls go.
One last spirited encouragement as she left this game. Clouden can't get it.
So here's something interesting about Michigan. I mean, it's kind of a free-for-all. You're not really seeing any real sets. It's just kind of one-on-one action. It's like mini NBA. And I just think they have to be a little more disciplined and run something that they feel like they can really execute and get a quality shot.
7 on the shot clock. Hillman.
Good rebound from Clouden. And Michigan State on the run that's their best bet to try to get a bucket.
If that's on Johnson, she's done. That's her fifth.
Boy.
2 starters now out.
Well, we talked about this. We talked about one of the strategies would be to just continue to try to go at the bigs and get them out of the basketball game. So that hurts.
That brings in Cedor.
Now, the only thing about Cedor, you might lose size, but Cedor can flat out shoot the 3, and that could actually prove deadly depending on how things play out.
Turnover. A couple of freshmen now playing crunch time
good
for
hustle.
Michigan, and look at McCutcheon. Thought she might have a steal, picks up the foul instead.
Right here in front of us, when she reached around, that's when he called the foul.
The second on McCutcheon. One more look at it. Where do you think the foul is?
No, right here when she went across her hip, because that's when he blew it. You saw those 2 hands on the hip, even though she didn't have possession of the basketball. I don't know, interesting call, but that's when it happened.
7-point advantage for Michigan. 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores. Excuse me, 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores in for Michigan in crunch time. McCutcheon can't get it.
Trying to do too much. Right now, the energy and the emotion of the basketball game is not in favor of Michigan State. They've got to settle down, if anything, put all of that extra energy into that full court pressure or into their defense.
The underclassmen looking to close it out here for the Wolverines. Hillman with Holly defending her spin move, threw it up, and she walked with it.
Well, that's great defense from Holly. I thought she's done a really solid job when she's been in there regardless. And there's a look, actually just lost her footing. Hillman just tried to make a move and couldn't.
Cloudon's got a mismatch. McCutcheon into Holly. Tough shot.
It's tough trying to get over 6'4" Verajao. Good steal.
McCutcheon going for it again.
Great hustle.
Ah, she's going to pick up another. Couple of fouls going for a couple of steals. She's got 3 now.
Well, it's great hustle. You can't take anything from her. She's good at just poking it. She gets it. It's when she goes for the dive. Yeah. I struggle. I mean, that's just good hustle, but doesn't take too much of a contact to get called for it.
Dilk hitting some key free throws.
Clutch.
Trying to ice this one on the road.
Clutch free throws, very important. In a Michigan team that has held on, they've done a good job because Michigan State certainly gave them what they had. Defensively, they were all over.
Well, Michigan looking for win number 18 here of the season, and in the second best RPI conference in the country. You look at that, they picked up 4 wins against the RPI top 50. Their strength of schedule is absolutely excellent. And right now, Michigan, one of 8 teams with some projections to be in the NCAA tournament this year.
Well, they prepared. I mean, the discussion around the Big Ten has been about scheduling. And you think about the strength of schedule and look at that RPI and you see how it paid off. Michigan, even though they are in the middle of the conference, they have a great statement for getting into the NCAA tournament. Obviously, some big wins here down the line will be significant as well.
Michigan on a 12-2 run to close this game. And again, doing it with 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores. A bump there on Clouden as Dilk picks up her 4th. Already Johnson and Brown have fouled out of this game. Michigan State 12 of 21 as a team from the free throw line. But that's who you want there is Nia Clouden. Four for 4. Clouden has had a
Quiet 13 points.
It's a time management game now.
Great hustle again. Taryn McCutcheon, again, it won't be because she didn't try. Good defense. Now they've got to make something happen. The foul's got to happen if they're going to do it.
Joyner's forced a foul. And that'll be number 4 on Joyner. They're running out of choices of players to foul for Michigan State.
That's right. Susie Merchant's going to come out and have to foul somebody in a minute. In that bad pink jacket.
Dilk 6 of 7 from the free throw line in the 4th quarter. Huge free throws. They keep sending number 1 to the free throw line, and she keeps responding for Michigan.
That's how it's done.
We showed you the resume for Michigan. Remember, Michigan State dealing with all those injuries this year, picked as one of the favorites coming into the season, kind of trying to stay above 500. They are on the outside in terms of NCAA tournament expectations unless they win the Big Ten tournament. But
Sure.
certainly the WNIT is in play. And really in Susie Merchant's watch, they haven't made a postseason in only 1 year, and that's when they chose not to play in the WNIT. So this is
Correct.
a proud program that prides itself on playing in the postseason.
And it's one of those question marks, however, this year in particular, with so many injuries, do you make that decision to go play, or do you rest your team up and get ready for a big season ahead next year?
And it was in that 2014-2015 season when they elected to not play in the postseason, to rest up and get healthy. Coach Merchant had told us they're still considering playing in the postseason this year if they qualify. McCutcheon for three. And we got a review coming up. Looking at the possession here.
Definitely off. Oh, I don't know. Everyone's still in here.
Well, they ruled it Michigan State basketball.
Okay. This game was definitely closer than what we see on the scoreboard.
Clouded for three.
Okay,
she
big
hits.
bucket. And it's gotten closer again. That's a big shot. We talked about Clouded and her clutch shooting.
Back to a two-possession game.
Could this be yet another one? And what I love about her is this, her expression never changes. Just one big shot after another. Step, catch, shoot. Step, catch, shoot. Textbook. Big, big scorer.
Adjusted to the pass on that play. 2 for 2 from three. Has elevated her scoring total to 17 points in this game. And again, they've had to foul. They've sent Dilt to the free throw line.
There's a look. And while she has not down at the consistency she may have wanted to, 17 points is huge.
Here's something that I would entertain, is sending Naz Hillman back to the free throw line. 6 of 13 from there tonight.
Sure. Absolutely. But of course they're going to keep it in the hands of Amy Dilt.
9 of 12 there from the charity stripe. And again, has been almost perfect in the fourth quarter. 7 of 8. Osmond picks up her third. Cool, calm, and collected for Amy Dilt.
Smooth as silk, Amy Dilt.
Timeout, Michigan State. They'll be able to advance it. A couple timeouts left for Michigan and 1 timeout left here for Michigan State. I mentioned that this is the second toughest league in the country in terms of RPI. You see Michigan sitting at 36. We showed you their strength of schedule, the 4 wins against the top 50 RPI. Kim Barnes-Arico talking to us at shoot-around today, just the respect that the Big Ten has gotten across the country. It started in the non-conference, and in the past, maybe the Big Ten was perceived as a top-heavy league.
Sure.
Not the case this year.
Definitely a middle heavy. And everybody could be in the middle at any given time, and was.
They find McCutcheon. Michigan State hunting down another three. Can't get it.
Take it.
They'll chase down the offensive rebound. Osmond or Michigan State, someone's got to pull the trigger. And that could just about do it. Verajao will go to the free throw line. And she hasn't missed from there. Michigan State had won 3 of the last 4 in this series, 7 of the last 9. Tough season for Michigan State and Susie Merchant as Michigan looks for its first season sweep of Michigan State in 5 years. And the fans who have made the trip looking to roll them to a victory in the final 25 seconds. First miss at the free throw line for Verajao. they'll let Clouden go, or will they? Verajao picks up her 5th. Stops the clock.
There's going to be no one left from Michigan. Who else goes in the game? Hey, Clouden, she would have loved to knock that 3 down, but good defense from Amy Dilk. Verajao just kind of comes over and swipes at it.
Well, 3 have now fouled out.
That is pretty amazing. When's the last time you did a game and there were 3 people that fouled out on the same team?
On the winning team.
At that.
By the way, Emily Kaiser is the answer to your question about who enters the game for Michigan.
Thanks.
For you. Clouded still perfect from the free throw line.
Until you had to say perfect.
And we'll head back. Michigan calls a timeout. (65-57). Michigan State tried to claw its way back here in the final few minutes. They took the lead, though briefly. Trailed by as many as 18. But it's a Michigan team that maybe has found its rhythm. A Michigan team where 4 average in double figures, even with the absence of Kayla Robbins. A Wolverine team that's kind of prided itself on balance this year. Don't forget the last couple of years, they lost a couple of 2,000-point scores, and Caitlin Flaherty, Hallie Thome. Turning the page in a new era. Underclassmen closing this out for Michigan.
Great game.
And for the first time in 5 years, the Wolverines sweep the season series against Michigan State. 65-57 the final. Naz Hillman, one of the big stories for Michigan. Her 10th double-double this year. 26 points, 13 rebounds. Followed by Dilk and Verajao, who also were in double figures. So Michigan, who came into tonight in 7th place in the Big Ten, picks up win number 9 in the Big Ten. Middle of the pack there. The top 4 you see above the first yellow line. The top 4 will get the double bye. And Michigan State dropping to 7 and 9 and trying to avoid to be one of the 4 teams below that second line and playing on the first day of the Big Ten tournament. A good contingency of maize and blue coming out to celebrate a victorious road team. Making the short drive from Ann Arbor to East Lansing. And picking up the 65-57 win. Naz Hillman again, her 10th double-double of the season. And Vera is standing by with Naz.
Naz, another amazing performance, 26 points, 13 rebounds, 10 of 15 shooting. What was it? Was it the rivalry that got you going so well today?
The rivalry was a big part of it. I love playing in this atmosphere with both teams competing at a high level, but it was also my teammates and coaches putting me in a great position to get the ball. They put in a lot of plays for me, and Amy Dilk really got me the ball as well as AK, just everybody really looking for me inside of the paint.
There was a point where you got really stagnant. Michigan State made quite a run at you. What was said in the huddle to keep your poise so that you all could stay victorious?
Coach was just telling us that we can still do the same things that we did in the first half. We need to pick up our energy and start things on the defensive ends, which will translate into the offense later.
All right, well, congratulations. It looks like you guys are on a roll.
Thank you.
All right.
Naz Hillman, again, boosting her resume. One of the favorites here for Player of the Year and just establishing herself. Again, you know she's going to get the basketball. Even with the shot clock running down like that one was. She converts and in so many different ways pursues the basketball. 26 and 13 on the day. And her head coach is with Vera.
Coach, it sounded like, I mean, the way that Naz Hillman summed it all up, you just told them to keep their head in and keep the energy. It looked like they did that today.
Yeah, really proud of how we battled in the second half. When we couldn't get things to go our way, we could have easily fell apart. We had 2 of our starters foul out and were in foul trouble, and our energy and everybody that stepped in was consistent. This is not an easy place to win basketball games, and for us to come in here in this crowd today on a Michigan State team that has won 3 in a row is really impressive, and I'm just proud of our team.
How much of this game feels like you're already at the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a rivalry. The atmosphere is incredible. It's great for the state of Michigan, but it's getting us ready for the Big Ten tournament because our league is so good this year. We're going to have more teams than ever in the NCAA tournament, and this was a preview of what's to come in the Big Ten tournament.
All right, well, I'm excited about it. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thanks, Vera.
All right, back to you, Lisa.
Well said. A couple of weeks away will be your home to most of the games of that Big Ten tournament. Show you the second best conference in terms of the RPI across the country. For Vera Jones, our entire BTN crew, I'm Lisa Byington saying so long from East Lansing. The final 65